Morning, Trainiacs. There's been quite the reaction to something that I did based off of something that someone said in the Pathetic Triathletes Facebook group. That's the name of the group. I'm not calling them pathetic. And today, we're going to talk about exactly what went on because there are upwards of about 230 comments, a lot of which are uninformed because a lot of people are listening to what this one individual said who started it all without actually looking into what I said or even who I am. So we're going to talk about that today. So what ended up happening was I ended up blocking an individual on Facebook. That individual went to the Pathetic Triathletes Facebook group talking about how I blocked him and didn't quite give the entire story. Now, we're obviously not going to use his name here because what kind of animal ends up publicly bashing an individual on Facebook? You keep wanting to put people down because they want to do an Ironman without spending enough time with half distance. I just got into triathlon last year and I'm doing IMMD this September, and my goal is to finish in under 12 hours. Been doing marathons for years and I have a couple of ultras early this year. It all depends who you surround yourself with and how strong you are physically and mentally. I know plenty of people who have done Ironmans and no one has ever said what you say. I'll send you a picture of me crossing the finish line in under 12 hours. Watch me. Do one already. You've been doing triathlons for a long time. What are you waiting for? Let's talk about exactly what I said, actually. Next, really important lesson that I talk about a lot that was really exciting to have reaffirmed was when we were talking to the Iron Cowboy, James Lawrence. Now this is no different. He's heard in that podcast, he said, you know what? I'm known for going long, but I would not have been able to do that if I didn't build up speed, endurance, and understanding of my body and strength by doing sprints, Olympics, and powerlifting movements. And what I see so much, and the industry sees so much, is that there is this black hole of triathlon that is Ironman, and people are making leaps up to that distance before their body is ready because it's the bucket list that you have to do it. And I get it. It's an awesome company. They hold awesome races, but to completely ignore the progression that a lot of athletes should be going through to go through it safely and to get as fast as they possibly can, makes me sad. Because you might go into Ironman, not have a good experience, and then be out of the sport. And then we can't be buds anymore. So a few things. Specifically, what I said was not that I feel bad or sorry or look down on people for doing Ironman. I've talked about this multiple times that if you want to do an Ironman as your first race, an early race in your first couple of years, go ahead, do it. I say it there. I get it. I understand it. What I'm talking about is that when people go into it with the preconceived notion that they're going to absolutely kill the race because they've built it up to be this big thing and they haven't gone through a proper progression of building up the distance, it's going to be very hard. It also opens you up to potential for injury and a potentially negative first race because you haven't built up the knowledge of doing racing at shorter distances, eliminating variables, making it easier on yourself. Talking about this individual's comment saying that nobody has ever said what I said, well, Josh Amberger said that he didn't step up to Ironman until he felt his body was ready. The Iron Cowboy said that he owes a lot of his success at Ironman to the short distance races. Sarah Crowley talks about how it's not all about Ironman, on and on and on. Like, consistently, pro triathletes, coaches urge people who want to do as well as they possibly can in Ironman to build up progressively. So now let's get into why I ended up blocking this individual that he doesn't really talk about in his post in the Pathetic Triathletes group. I consider all of the comment sections in my videos like my house. If anyone, be it a stranger, a good friend, comes into my house and starts disagreeing with me, it's going to be okay. It's made for open discussion, questions, answers, a little bit of back and forth. But what I was noticing was that there was a very over average amount of comments, and those comments from this individual were starting to go more towards negative. If somebody who's a stranger were to come into my house and every couple of days badger me with something that they didn't agree with me on, I'd politely ask them to leave and never come back. So what I did with this person is I looked them up and I wanted to know what I was getting myself into. I looked across Facebook and it seemed like he is a hyper commenter in a lot of places. I kind of looked at it like real life. Okay, this is a fairly gossipy individual, and because they're going around and spreading things all over the internet, combined with things going a little more towards negative, I didn't want to associate myself with that and get myself into a position where I gave him ammo to attack me online and probably do it publicly. So I ended up blocking him because I wanted to sever that tie, politely ask him to leave, well, just make him leave, and exactly what I feared would happen happened. Because he is such a keyboard warrior, he went on the Pathetic Triathletes Facebook group and said this. There's a Facebook page called Taren, which I've been following for about a year. The guy posts daily videos with tips and workouts and stuff. I generally enjoyed learning from the guy since I got into triathlons last year. Excellent, thank you. He has been a triathlete for like 8 years, but he has never done an Ironman and keeps saying how he feels bad for those people who get into a full distance too soon. I am one of them. I'm doing my IMMD this year. I tell the guy to stop discouraging people, that it all depends on what you know you are capable of doing. It doesn't matter if you are fairly new to the sport. I told him I'll send him a picture of me finishing Ironman. Now I am blocked. He blocked me. WTF. So what he fails to mention is that there had been a trend of him going and badgering me, and exactly what I feared would happen, that he would go and try to publicly slander me. And actually, let's see if this is slander. Oral defamation in which someone tells one or more persons an untruth about another, which untruth will harm the reputation of the person defamed. Sounds like he was trying to slander my reputation. All that said, are people allowed to disagree with me? Of course. Are people allowed to do it incessantly and without respect for just general human decency, that understanding there's another person on the other end of that keyboard? No, this is real life, so we get to talk about it too. And I say we, let's call in my goons, and we're gonna see what they have to say about it. Goons, let's react to the comments. It's all right, ladies. Let's talk about what was said in here. Go through some of the highlights. Stop me if you see anything you like. Now, I'll start off by saying that there is a very significant amount of people that are sticking up for us, saying that it's our group, that we're allowed to do that he's maybe not telling the entire story, and people who do follow saying that sounds out of character, sticking up. So thank you to everyone who did that.
Anyone say anything worse than anything I've said?
I mean, I think what's being missed by the people who are upset, yes, you said it already, yes, you can do your very first race as an Ironman. Go ahead. But statistics show a lot of people who do that, in fact, a majority of people who do that, don't end up doing other races after that because it was such a long, intensive, painful experience. They didn't know what to expect. It didn't go as well as they had hoped, and it didn't become part of their lifestyle. And the whole point of this channel, of this community, is triathlon as a lifestyle. And so, if you are encouraging triathlon as a lifestyle, which you are, then it stands to reason that you don't recommend people jump into the biggest, hardest part of the sport to start off with. That is simply it. If somebody wants to take that the wrong way and say that you're saying, don't do it and you're wrong for doing it and I feel sorry for you, well, okay, that's really overreacting, and it did not deserve this kind of response, in my opinion. I mean...
Well, somebody says it here perfectly. I watch him as well. His decision is surprising. Assumed that his comments referred to optimal top performance at each level before moving on. Exactly! Thank you! And then our pal gets in and says, the guy said he feels bad for those who do. Watch his latest video. So
yeah.
Even when somebody gets it...
Yes.
He still kept going and badgering and trying to put me down.
And taking it out of context. Yes, you feel bad for them because...
They might end up getting injured and being out of the sport. Not because they're bad people or I feel bad for their decision, but I feel that they might not have an ideal experience.
And he doesn't want you to express that, evidently.
Yes. This one I like.
I find the ginger bastard to be one of the most annoying idiots in the entire triathlon world. Well, I'm married to the ginger bastard, and I find him pretty annoying too, but I'm not going online and telling people about it.
Step in line.
Also, get it right, he's blonde.
We're gonna make Mel do some work, and we're gonna do see what happens is the color correction. I bet you we could go ginger right now to blonde to dirty blonde. It's the
Lucky
color
you.
correction.
Yeah, ginger mask.
blonde.
You ginger bastard. And being annoying, I am aware of that. I've been annoying since I was 0, and I don't plan on stopping now.
Yeah, that's not an insult. We're aware.
You like that one, eh? That ginger bastard.
Ginger bastard.
I enjoy this one. He hates that you are better than him and doing what he is too terrified to do. And that is exactly what he is. He's scared of a full. Good pal sticks up and says, if you knew TT, you'd realize what a stupid comment that is. Thanks, pal. Taren is not terrified of anything triathlon related, unless there's snakes.
I've heard you say though that you ultimately would like to get to full. You're on your path
that's
to full.
That's the plan. That is
But,
totally the plan.
again-
Also, I'll say that I've completed 2 marathon swims that scared the shite out of me way more than doing a full. It's not that I'm afraid of the race, it's that I'm progressing through it. And something that I think needs to be understood is that there is a huge time commitment to training for a full properly the way that I want to do it. And in the last 8 years, I've either been building an investment practice, which is very time consuming, building a social media company, we've been renovating a house, we've built a garage, and I don't feel like I can do the race justice going into it with the intent that I want to have. Why does it have to be that I'm afraid to do Ironman? How about it just doesn't work well within life?
At the moment.
At the moment.
Yeah, I find that kind of funny too, because you literally are devoting your life to this sport, your career, your free time, you're trying to improve your times, etc., etc. But you're scared.
I'm scared.
But you're scared. All right. That surprises me about him. He seems so nice. Well. It's different for everyone, and in no way should we discourage anyone from reaching for their goals. And then probably you're going to enjoy that experience a lot more.
What?
He's from Winnipeg. I'm not surprised.
And then he later goes on to say, I'm from Winnipeg. I had to get out. Regina is a natural refuge. You chose Regina over Winnipeg?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Toronto. Yes.
Regina.
When you
Somewhere,
ask people like where are you from, and if they're from Regina, they don't say like I'm from Regina. They say it like from Regina. Now we're getting catty against Reginans. Sounds like the perfect time to start your own group with your own opinions.
Yes. You can be the advocate for jumping into full Ironmans before you've done any other races. Have at her.
After the ginger bastard, we skipped over with it. Much as I hate to agree with you, yeah, Taren is an annoying little free stuff junkie. Couple of things about being a free stuff junkie. Number 1, the next time you get offered something for free, you have to turn it down. No question. Number 2, so I've been doing this channel here while doing triathlon, which is an extremely expensive sport, but because I love it so much and because I want to contribute to the triathlon community, I've done this in years that, well, to be perfectly honest with you, the last half of last year, I didn't pay myself. And there was a year when I was doing triathlon Taren and still doing triathlon that I made $8,000 that year. So when a company comes up and says, hey, we'd like to give you our stuff, and it's stuff that I use day to day and will take kind of the burden off of doing this channel, I gotta take it.
Because your wife wants to eat dinner.
But I've also seen you turn down free stuff too.
That's true, actually.
You only take things that you believe in, that you would like to show off.
Since you are new to the sport, I will introduce you to a term for people like that. I can't say it here because it rhymes with schmoosh bag.
Is he calling you a schmoosh bag?
No, a moosh bag.
Moosh bag.
Yeah, he wouldn't go as low as calling me a schmoosh bag.
That I think you're more encouraging people that are just getting started not to have their first race of any kind be an Ironman. If I don't have any experience in endurance sports. If I had started doing triathlons and I was like, I'm doing an Ironman, you'd be like, that's probably not a great idea. Whereas if I came from a background in like cycling or swimming, long distance running, and that that is less unachievable of a goal.
It's less of a leap.
It's less of a leap.
I guess the point is, it's his opinion, and he
Yeah,
stated
if I want to go do an Ironman,
then you're going to go do an
an
Ironman. And he has said, go ahead.
I'm gonna drown, but I'm gonna go.
I'm going to enlist in your help for this one here, Kim. He's a douche if he can't accept feedback like an adult. Can you pass me my poop emoji pillow? At no point did I ever claim that I was a mature adult. Self-promotion from my pal Ruth. I actually know Taren personally. We swim together. Thanks, Ruth. Great guy. You two don't say that.
Great guy.
Great guy. Very questionable, Ruth.
This is my husband. He's fine.
Great guy.
He's fine. Why the butt hurt with some people? She said butt. Well, thanks to this post, Triathlon Taren has at least one new follower. Yes! Everything's going exactly according to plan. Oh, goodness. Well, I refreshed and I lost our page in line. I think we've proven our point. Moral of the story, really, just do whatever you want to do. The thing that I want to say is that if you're really leapfrogging a lot of races and build-up, you just might not have the best experience that you can possibly have. And in full Ironman distance racing, that might mean a really bad, unenjoyable day. It also might mean a lot of injuries. And that is what makes me sad. The idea of people getting injured very seriously because they weren't patient enough, that, yes, it does make me sad because it's an awesome sport and I want everyone to be in it for a long time.
And I don't get why this person doesn't want you to feel sad.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why is that an insult or a bad thing? I don't understand.
Yeah, why can't I feel sad? You're just giggling away. You're like, finally, everyone's saying what I've thought for the last 2 years.
Why can't I be sad?
Oh, you're gonna have fun with this edit.
Bye.
Later. You're working overtime, Mel.
Oh, I'm sad.